The purpose of this quick presentation, it's kind of going to be an interactive session, is to help students to create folders for each of their classes and develop a system to organize their learning. So what we're doing today is kind of like when you used to organize a binder, like an Avid binder, where you would set up tabs and you would have kind of dividers to show you where each of your classes are. That system is really important because it's really at the beginning of the school year setting ourselves up for success. It's difficult to work on a document that you can't find. You're going to be working on a lot of different things in using your MacBook as a tool. And setting this up now is just an important skill in terms of organization, which will help you in the long run, wherever you are in the workforce, in daily life, etc. For example, those of us who've ever done our taxes, we know that right around tax season, it's nice to refer to a folder where we've shoved all of our W-2s and 1099s or whatever, tax receipts, medical receipts, reimbursements. So organization is just something that we're always working on, even as adults. So let me show you how we're going to do this. And some of you have already done this, maybe for all of your classes and maybe just for one or two because your teachers have asked you to do that. So let's go. I'm going to come back to this screen. Let's go to a blank screen. Oh my goodness. You can see that on my desktop here, there are lots of documents that I've been working on. My desktop is starting to get a little bit messy. Someone once explained to me that your desktop is kind of like a physical desktop. If you had a bunch of papers sitting on your desk in front of you right now and there were to be a gust of wind that came by, all those papers would scatter. So all these little files might scatter. They might be recoverable, but it might be difficult for like a tech person if your Mac crashes to locate them. It would be easier for a tech person to locate those files if you store them in like a filing cabinet, which is kind of like your hard drive, right? So if we were to scroll up here, you can see my hard drive as kind of like a filing cabinet. So anyway, I tend to be the person who organizes on my desktop and then moves things over to my filing cabinet. So here's my filing cabinet. You can see my documents. Oh my gosh, I have all of these different folders that I already have created. You probably don't. Let's just start with creating a folder for each of our classes, right? And then we can always move them into our filing cabinet, our hard drive. So I don't know. I'm going to create, what I did right now is I two-finger tapped, or I could go to File, New Folder. So File, New Folder. And I'm going to put it over here so that we can, oh, I'm not going to put it over there. I'm going to create one for first period. So I'm going to two-finger tap it, hit rename. First period for me is band, okay? Then I'm going to create another one. Second period is, I don't know, chemistry. Oh gosh, I misspelled it. I can two-finger tap it, rename, and chemistry, okay? I'm going to two-finger tap it again, create a new folder. I could have done this before you got here. You could be doing yours right now, by the way. Third period for me is U.S. history. Are you creating your folders right now? If you're not, by the way, if you already have folders created and you don't want to put what period you're in the class, you don't have to. It's just going to keep me organized. And I have welding. Some of you may be like, but my teacher hasn't had me do anything yet. And I would say to you, okay, awesome. I bet your teacher will eventually. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to have a quick place where you can throw those documents or find those documents? And now I have that available. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to ask teachers to pause for a moment. Pause. And make sure students have created folders for all of their classes. Then hit play when you're ready to go. So the next step is this. Some of you may have already created these folders, right, in your hard drive. Or maybe you're like me and you're like, I don't want all of those folders just hanging out on my desktop. So I want something like this. Look, I already created one that says 2019, 2020. That's actually for my professional stuff. I'm going to create a new one though. I'm going to say new folder, and I'm just going to title it um, uh, junior year, okay? Because I just created my classes as though I were a junior. So I can do a lot of different things right now. Well, first of all, I need to move my Spanish presentation into my Spanish folder, and I just clicked and dragged, right? Then I'm going to move this one. I know that I created this for welding, so I'm going to move that into welding. Um, these are actually my professional things, so I'm going to move them over here. Uh, yeah. And I'm going to move maybe all of these. Let me mute that because that was annoying. I'm going to move my first period band, my second period chemistry. I'm hitting shift right now and clicking on each of those, and I'm going to move those over to junior year. Okay? So teachers, if you want, you can pause right now and let students do that. Or you can continue. Now, once I have that junior year, this is just a file hanging out on my desktop again. Now, again, I told you if a gust of wind were to come right now and blow it all away, then it might be hard for a tech person to find that. So something Miss Lovelace reminded me about was that students can create an alias. So an alias is like a shortcut where we would store this junior year over in my filing cabinet, my documents. So I'm just going to click and drag that on over there. Okay, there it is. But I want to be able to just quickly click on my desktop and find it. And I want them to be saved safely in my filing cabinet. So I just want like a little shortcut, an alias over here. So I'm going to 2-finger tap on my junior year, and I'm going to go to make alias. And what you're going to notice is that I just created a junior year alias right there. If I leave that here, I have a shortcut to get to everything that's now saved in my desktop. I could also have saved it to my student number. So like your student number, mine says LM Rivera, your student number is probably down here. But the thing about these is that these are only accessible for now when you're on the district Wi-Fi. So I think it's really safer to save it to my hard drive, which I now have access to anywhere. And some of you may be saving stuff to your iCloud drive, which is totally cool too. You can totally do that. The challenge is, like if I were to go here into numbers, I have all these things that are saved in my iCloud drive. But if I don't have internet access, then I don't have access to my iCloud drive. So I'm kind of picky and choosy about what I save there. Okay, teachers, now's a good time to pause. And I'm going to stop this video now and come back to another one about Google Drive at a later date. So we're going to pause this, and I'm going to give you a YouTube link that teachers can post for students. It would be a great, great accomplishment if by the end of today's class, every student has created folders for each of their classes so that they can quickly and easily find their academic work. Have a good day. Go Tigers.